The South African Civil Aviation Authority will today hold its 25th year anniversary airshow at the Wonderboom National Airport in the city of Tshwane. Now, the event will be an aviation career day for over 3,000 guests, including local schools. For more on this now, let's take you to SABC News reporter Dludla, who joins us. So, Calvin, take us through some of the latest conversations to come out of there. I understand you also have the Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga, with you.
Good day, Mkolisi Masango, and good day to the viewer at home. Yes, as you have correctly pointed it out, you are here at Pretoria Wonderboom National Airport, where the South African Civil Aviation Authority is celebrating 25 years since its inception. I'm not alone with the Transport Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga. Minister, thank you very much for your precious time. We're here in Pretoria. Please tell us more, elaborate about this magnificent event.
Thank you for having us, and good morning to all South Africans who are watching. We are here to celebrate 25 years of the existence of the South African Civil Aviation Authority, the regulator in the aviation sector in South Africa. Established in 1999, after the Assembly took a resolution that SACAA member states must have such entities. And the government of South Africa, through the legislation, established this entity. And it's been a long journey from then up until today, where there are now 25 years. And this is the entity that represent us in many of the international aviation events, but also representing us when we are audited by SACAA, that is the International Civil Aviation Organization, which is a specialized UN agency for the. It sets standards and recommended practices for all its member states. And the regulator makes sure that all operators adhere and comply to those standards and recommended practices set by SACAA.
When I was growing up, we didn't know much about aviation. No one taught us about aviations and playing. What are you doing that all these kids that are here, they are being engaged or being taught depending in terms of aviation and careers?
In fact, as a matter of fact, every year, it might even be twice per year, we go out to villages, to parts of South Africa where aviation is never spoken about, and interact with young people, to the extent that now we have some young people that we are training in our academies here in South Africa for careers such as pilot, but we also have our own academy where we are training young people so that they can become air traffic controllers. It's the academy that we own as a state. It's rated as one of the best in the world, and that is helping us to access those young people from the most rural part of South Africa and from the farm areas of South Africa. But of course, we're also sending some of our young people to academies outside of South Africa. We sent 5 to France. We have sent 8 last year to France, and the 5 that we sent have come back with the highest qualification as pilots, and it is 4 that came back. 1 has decided to take something else, but in the aviation sector. The 8 that are still in France, that we are paying for them in terms of transportation, in terms of tuition, in terms of even the stipend that we give them as they are outside of South Africa. So when they come back, we already are negotiating. We have negotiated with some of the airlines to absorb them. So we're very happy that we have such a program. Of course, when it comes to air traffic controllers, because we own that, then we have managed to transform that. So we've got a number of our black young people, and when I talk about black, I mean Africans, I mean Indians and coloureds, who were not exposed to these careers in the past, but now they are exposed.
Who else can benefit from the program except the kids and learners?
In fact, anyone. For instance, if you want to be an air traffic controller or a pilot, you must definitely have, for instance, math science as well, because that's what you require in order for you to do that. But you can actually be an aviation lawyer. We send you to university to specialize on that one. You can be a medical, an aviation doctor, and we train you on that one. You can be an aviation lawyer. So there are quite a number of careers that have aviation related expertise, and we assist you in doing that as the Department of Transport, but also our state-owned entities. And therefore, you can be anything you can be. I always say to young people and to their parents when we go out to talk about these things, we say, if you don't have, you can come from a very poor family. But if you want to be an air traffic controller, all that you'll require is money for you to put to Pretoria. When you arrive in Pretoria, we're going to accommodate you. But at the end of the month, we're going to pay you a stipend so that you are able to spend money for books and everything else. And some, they are even able during their training to send some little bit of money to their parents. It's not what we want, but they do it and we're not against it. So yes, indeed, it can be anyone who gets access to our carriers in the transport sector, particularly in aviation.
Minister, there are people who are not here who might be interested, people from your Mudimule, people from Ngutu, people from your Putaditaba who are outside Gauteng. What do you do in terms of reaching those types of audience?
Can you repeat the question?
There are people who might be interested in what you are doing, and they are not staying in Gauteng. They might be in your Mudimule in Limpopo, they might be in Ngutu, Msinga, KwaZulu-Natal, they might be in your Putaditaba in Free State. What do you do to make sure that those people, they get kind of assistance that people here are getting?
In fact, as a matter of fact, these air shows, in particular the air shows, we take them to any part of South Africa. Just last year, we were in PE in the Eastern Cape, and unfortunately, the weather did not allow us to actually end up with the air show. But we share this information with them. The other air show was in Mpumalanga. We've been to all provinces. So we go to all provinces with the air shows, but we go to all provinces to share with our young people the careers that are available in transport, but the opportunities that are there, the bursaries that we have as the Department of Transport, but also as the state-owned companies that report to the Department of Transport. So there is a lot that we share with our people, either than the aviation sector. We have, for instance, memorandum of understanding that we have signed with 13 universities. We send our learners there, we give them money, they take our learners, they train them in terms of the qualifications that are transport related. So yes, there's a lot of work that we are doing, and we have produced quite a number of careers and professionals with the money that we send to universities, but of course our state-owned companies as well.
I know it's very hot, Minister, I can't keep you for long. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much. Mxolisi Masango and the viewer at home. That was Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga, the Minister of Transport here at the Wonderboom National Airport.